Yes.
Basically, same idea. Free it up at the head. Try not to disturb any of that in there. Okay. From this point, also take a look inside. Pretty good amount of lead in through there. Okay. That's in lining the whole backbone. Okay. So the one thing you want to do is actually free that up, and we're going to scrape that and rinse it. Okay. Very thin membrane that just kind of holds it all in there, and you should be able to.
What is that again?
It's like blood that runs through. Yeah. So up at the start.
So with rainbow trout, should we not worry about, clipping the fins?
Well, I guess it depends on which way you're going to present them. Since we're going to do full-on fillets, you could snip them. If you were going to serve it basically dressed, then you would want to, yes, snip the fins off, right? Snip all these off.
So those have the pointy fins or not? Like the sharp ones?
They're not very sharp, no. So you don't have to worry about like the snappers and things like that where you poke yourself and you swell up. That hurts. Right. So if you wanted to serve them that way where they were butterflied, then yeah, these would be snipped off. Snip, snip, all those. And then, excuse me, you turn on the cold water for me. Give them a good rinse. Try to get in through that section right here. As always, anytime you're handling fish, try to handle them like a baby, 2 hands. Don't let them bend or anything like that. Rinse them. So we can go through a lot of different steps here if you want. I'm going to show you if you wanted to snip these. Do that. It's almost like cartilage. It's kind of rubber. So you guys are lucky because usually here in the Viking kitchen when they do meat fab and fish fab, they drop the temperature of the entire place down so it's really cold, right? Makes sense? Like if you were working in a butcher shop or something like that. Okay. So clean from there. It'd be great if we were going to scale it, if we're going to leave the skin on, but we're not necessarily. So here's what we want to do. We're up here right by the collar, basically. Here's where the dorsal fin was. And what we're going to do is make a slice in. You can tell that there's meat up in here in the head. So if we go straight across, we're kind of wasting some right through here. Okay? So we're going to want to go in at an angle. So my knife is at an angle, kind of heading in. And the first thing I'm going to do is basically go in towards the head, like so. I don't know if I'm sure Chef Tucker has mentioned to you, as much as possible, you want to be trying to do smooth strokes rather than back and forth, not sawing, not using the tip of your knife and poking. So try to keep it nice and smooth. Okay, gentle here. I can feel the rib cage underneath it. So what I want to do is kind of keep my fingers there, but you can see how convenient this knife is. You get it in there and you can kind of turn it. So now I'm at a flat angle and I can see where my blade is going to come along this side of the fish itself. So as opposed to having to go up and over the backbone, this one is smooth and the belly is almost open through here. So all I need to do is drag my knife through all the way down. Okay. Notice I've got the fish towards the board, towards the edge. So I'm not over here where my hand's going to be on. My hand can be down lower than the actual fish itself. Okay. So I'll show you. Okay. I'm going to hold up just the belly and basically, can you guys hear that? Okay, so what I'm doing is basically putting a little bit of pressure down, but I'm angling down towards the actual backbone. My knife should be angled down this way, not up towards the flesh. I just cut through all those little pin bones, right? So that's what you're hearing, the little snaps. Keep going like so, all the way through. Again, pressure down, off through the fin. Okay, and then again, carefully, you want to take it off like so. Great color, huh? So there's another farm that's doing some ivory ones, and they almost look like they're albino trout. So now, things to look for. I don't know why it's a specific variety or what they feed them, but they're white on the outside with like gold specks, really bright colored. I've seen them at the local market. If you guys ever happen to go to the St. Helena Farmers Market, check out the fish company that's there. I think they're from Santa Rosa. Yeah, and they have some of those sometimes. I've never tried them before, but pretty interesting. What are we looking for? Nice, clean, no jag marks, nothing like that. Okay, it looks basically like a mini salmon fillet. This is what your salmon fillet is going to look like times 5. Looking over here, I got pretty much maximum yield from the meat. I've got really good coverage coming down through here, so there's very little waste left on the fish itself. Here's one fillet. Now, challenging thing. I'll show you a couple different variations here. Number one is you would go the opposite way. Bring it this way. Cut it here. Here's an awkward spot because you're kind of going at a round curve kind of an angle. And this way you're taking the fillet off of the backbone. Do you understand what I mean? Here's another way to combat that. Some people hang it off the edge so the head isn't. And then you can just go this way. Okay? And then I'll show you one other variation. And this might be the easiest for you guys. Since you're not going to be serving it head on or anything like that, go ahead and make your cut. Okay. You can play with these if you want to. Finger puppets. Gross out your sister. But yeah, I mean, you can tell. Sharp little teeth in through there. Right?
Excuse me, Chef, would you mind showing just anatomically where the backbone is and where you were initially in relation to it, and then where?
Okay, so when I came in here, turned my knife sideways, and my angle was facing down towards this, not up this way towards the meat, which is why it doesn't have jag marks. Okay, so as I started to come through, these are where the pin bones are, and I could hear the clicking. Yeah. And so as I'm coming across here, I'm going like so. Okay. The belly's already flapped up, my fingers were gently holding it up, and I wasn't, cutting myself with a knife. So it's basically holding it without bending it to break it. You'll notice that it's not cracked. Okay? So just to keep it out of your way, and you drag it right through, smooth as much as possible. If you need to go a little bit like this to get the motion going, then that's what you're looking for.
What about what are the chances that you can go to the flesh underneath? Because I know
that's pretty common, especially in the beginning. You're pushing too hard and you're actually cutting through. So you want to get to the point where, and it takes some practice, you can feel that backbone and you know you're right along it. Okay. Very common in salmon to cut all the way through and break through the other side. So it's a matter of having the right angle. Again, you can see if you look at the top of the fish to make sure that your knife is going, straight line as far as that goes. Okay. Does that help? All right, so now from this point,